Hello everyone, welcome to the FMCG guys, live from SMG's Retail Media Summit UK, the original one, by the way. And I'm joined here by Lucia Mastromauro, who's the Global VP of Advertising at Deliveroo.
Thank you.
I pronounce the name well?
Perfectly. Your Portuguese is better than mine.
So you're now at Deliveroo, but I'm interested to know, what's your background? Because retail media is such a mixed bag of people, and curious to know where you came from.
I mean, I would say it's very hard to define what a person needs to be or the experiences they need to have to fit perfectly in retail media. I would say for me it's almost like my entire journey culminated into retail media. I've been in technology for a very long time, sort of treading the marketing and technology kind of paths. I've been the advertiser at eBay, so very familiar with marketplaces, performance marketing, optimizing for high volume GMV. And before eBay, I was an e-commerce consultant helping e-commerce businesses build their businesses online. So that was very fun. Then eBay, a little bit of technology around ad tech and data. So spent a little time at Google, about 4 years. King, Candy Crush. Most recently, I was at WPP leading a small-ish data and tech consultancy, which is now Choreograph Consulting, but formerly it was called Acceleration.
So video games, agency, tech, commerce.
Yeah.
What were you doing at eBay actually?
I was the EMEA lead for performance and so marketing basically. The EMEA lead for digital marketing manager, but we built a lot of our technology in-house, so I was the owner of the roadmap from an international perspective, as well as kind of building programs to optimize media through data and technology to perform better. So we were ahead of the ad tech curve in building a full stack in-house to buy and optimize media, leveraging data, leveraging personalization, and a lot of that we built in-house to be able to.
And what's your secret to be able to seamlessly change industries, which is it's a tough one, you know, changing industry. It's a lot of people, I don't know if most, but a lot just stick with the same industry all their career.
I think, you know, like entrepreneurs, they just love that journey. I think I have a little bit of that, but without the courage to kind of bank my own money. So I do that through the different roles that I've done. I pivot sidewise, but with enough knowledge to then go through a ramp-up curve and build, again, a business, a product, or kind of a lead.
I guess it's that kind of thing as well, that when you've done it a few times, it's kind of second nature already, no?
It's fun. It's fun. It's terrifying at times. I've been at Deliveroo 4 months, and every day I gravitate between, do I know what I'm even saying? Oh no, I do. Or sometimes the team then updates me that I got it completely wrong. So it's a journey.
I remember the first time I changed jobs, I would have dreams like that. I was falling off cliffs and stuff like that. So yeah, I understand. I mean, it can be terrifying.
I think change is such an amazing opportunity, and so many businesses and individuals fear or don't respond well to change. I think being able to spot when a curve is changing and aligning yourself, that's great. And digital provides plenty of opportunities
Totally.
for that.
And I think the world is full of businesses and people that due to a fear, they have regrets all their life that they didn't make certain changes at certain times, right? And it's terrifying, but if you learn to enjoy the ride, I think it makes it all much easier, and it's a great ability to have. Speaking of change, how have you seen media change? Because you've worked kind of around media for your career, no?
Yes. Trajectory of digital businesses and technology, but media for the past 15 years at least. It's been an interesting journey because technology has time and time again disrupted media, but it has been bringing opportunities and challenges. And it's hard as a marketeer to keep up with all the changes, be able to rationalize your investments, justify performance, and so on. So it's been, I would say, a journey that's going forward, but every couple of years throws a curveball to CMOs or the directors of marketing. For me, I've been more in the sort of helping to build the technology or the programs behind that. So it's exciting in a way because it's always bringing in a new kind of a paradigm to the table, bringing in a new way of maybe advancing something that's a challenge a little bit more time and time again.
What have been like the 2 or 3 biggest shifts that you've seen?
Well, especially for brands, right?
Yeah.
The brands have been on a journey where they really knew very well how to do brand building and then communicate to consumers. And 15, 20 years ago, it was a lot simpler. The channels you had to play with, I mean, TV was massive. Consumer behavior has evolved so much in the past 20 years that it's that whole rationalization has changed massively. So instead of let's just focus on the big picture, there is a whole domain of areas that brands need to think of and get it right and coordinate between, you know, the different divisions internally to kind of get to the finish line, and then try and measure that against each other or the incremental value of every piece of that. So I would say the playing field has changed underneath the sort of the marketeer's feet, which is in some ways exciting because you can attribute more, but
it's also terrifying and
completely terrifying.
Very stressful, no? Because I always say it, I don't think there's ever been a better and worse time to be like a head of marketing, right?
Well, you gotta like technology and data.
You do.
You have to, if you're head of marketing these days, I think someone that doesn't would struggle, or they will need a very good team.
And have a vision and give it the importance that it needs, as well.
Right.
What about like retail media? I think that you were WPP before.
Yes.
From that agency perspective, how did you see the surge and how did it become important and relevant?
Well, I think retail media hasn't yet gotten the spotlight it actually deserves and the value it can bring to the table. I think we'll see that within the next 18 months as retail media converges into the broader media ecosystem. The biggest challenge with retail media right now is the fragmentation and how so many networks are basically operating in isolation. I can see already there are some movement in the market of partners integrating, kind of connecting their ecosystems. And I think once there is a little bit more connectivity, it will explode. I think it's already making some significant noises. You hear your marketeers throwing in, forecasts, etc. But because it's so powerful for brands to actually be able to connect to the consumer and to the purchase, something that especially for CPGs have been completely unattainable, I think it's really, really powerful. It will complement all the other channels you already have in digital as well as offline, linear TV and so on, but with an endpoint that was really desired for many, many years, but always was that we can't quite get there kind of moment.
Yeah, there was something missing really, no, because how do you attribute back and so on.
And the worlds of e-commerce and brand building and media have lived so far apart for so many years. They're all kind of coming together, and I think retail media businesses do an amazing job, or are starting to do an amazing job of connecting those three worlds.
Yeah, it's kind of the catalyst, and that's also making brands rethink how they're organized internally and so on. What convinced you to join Deliveroo? Because you said 4 months ago, so it's very fresh.
Yeah, so when I got the call from the headhunter, and I was like, okay, what is it? Oh, it's confidential, can't tell you, let's jump on a call. Signed an NDA, and then she sent me the name of the company. I'm like, yep, okay, definitely. Mostly because, again, I think we are somewhat down the line of the path of retail media networks gaining center stage. However, I think it's still early. There's so much more, I think, that will come out of this. I could foresee the opportunities around e-commerce, media, brand building. Deliveroo is in a handful of countries, however, it is a very sophisticated product, consumer product in platform. So building an ads business around that it's also very exciting. So I just could see like all the opportunities popping up in front of me. It was like a no-brainer.
What type of Deliveroo user are you?
Nowadays I don't live in central London anymore. When I lived in central London, pretty much most of my food items were Deliveroo. I live now outside London, so my Deliveroo purchasing is the restaurant part of it, for sure, but groceries, anything that's convenient, because just to get the car and go down 20 minutes down the
Is that how far you live?
And to the nearest Waitrose or the nearest John Lewis is not as immediate and easy as London. So I'm like, okay, I need eggs here. Oh, I could do with. A couple of days ago, I bought some earpods for calls. AirPods, yes. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I could wait 2 days, or I could get one to deliver to me in 40 minutes. And I'm like, no brainer. Same price.
So same price, no patience.
Same price now. Or 2 days from now. I need it now. So it's convenience.
Yeah.
I don't think you need everything to be at your doorstep in 5, 30, 40 minutes. But there are times in life that are very helpful. A good friend of mine went through surgery a couple of months ago, and she lives alone and quite far away. So I was trying to figure out a way to send her, something right at the time that she would be awake. And I was like, of course, flowers from Deliveroo and a bottle of champagne, because once she kind of goes through the surgery recovery, she will want to celebrate that she's great. So there is a specific journey, a specific kind of a moment there that being able to time things is
totally
precious.
Totally. Like many times I have issues with deliveries because I'm not at home, and then they have to come the next day. What is your actual role, though? What does being the global VP of advertising mean?
At Deliveroo, we kind of connect all parts of the vertical segment under the sort of the global leaders, and that's the same for my colleagues that lead restaurants or new verticals and so on. So I lead the end-to-end business within advertising, from product, operations, commercial, data science and so on, for ads. And it's fun because you actually are able to get the right people in the room immediately, make decisions, move fast, go into building. So that's quite special.
So it's operating the ads like if it were like a business unit in a lot of ways, no?
It is a business unit. There are different propositions under it. There's merchant ads, there's FMCG, tailored products, and it's a business in itself. Then we have the non-endemic side, which is more of a branding proposition. But we have a significant team behind all of that, working very close to the teams building the Deliveroo product itself and embedding our proposition, in the user experience very closely with it.
Is it very different for, like, let's talk about FMCG, like brands that are like in the restaurants, which is like I think it's the most popular segment that you have, I guess, no? To like brands that are like maybe only in grocery or more like non-endemic?
It's a mix. Obviously, restaurants is a massive vertical for us. We have a very mature product that caters for restaurants. We have a mature product that caters for brands that want to be present in the restaurant order as well. We have a growing groceries business as well as a growing retail business. So there are specific brands that want to be part of that journey, both from a merchandising perspective as partners, but also from an advertising perspective. It's about navigating the moments where it will be relevant to have the user experience as the consumer is going through their journey, as well as the brand that wants to influence that journey a little bit. So it's about marrying the two. And then we have what we call non-endemic, which would be the brands that aren't part of the traditional verticals that we run, but they feel they have, and we feel they have a place in the experience, in the journey. So for example, if you order dinner for your family, or if you order dinner for yourself, you are waiting for that delivery, you will check your phone. You might be open to being entertained by the latest movie trailers or understanding what offers there may be on connected TV for
travel,
you and so
hospitality.
On. Exactly. So it is about marrying the user experience to the moments that you kind of choosing to spend within our platform.
Yeah, there's so many like different occasions as well where you could be using
Correct.
Deliveroo, no? Because
Yes.
people may think like ordering from a restaurant when I'm hungry, but it's also like groceries or sending something to a friend and so on. So,
Or pre-planning as well, not just when you're hungry, but many families will choose to maybe on a Friday night pre-order their dinner to them at a specific time, so they don't have to be in a hurry, come back, feed kids and so on. Or you are stuck babysitting and you're out of nappies and so on. So there are those moments where life it's just telling you that you need something, and the convenience is there.
is there something like special about like when you're targeting clients or consumers, they're like in the buying process? Is there like any specificity or opportunity around that as well?
Completely. So we build our advertising product in line with the consumer journey. There's something internally that we kind of focus a lot across entire business, which is missions. So it's not just about the consumer that is likely to buy A or B from us. Every consumer comes into the platform with something in mind, with a mission in mind. And they can vary wildly. They can vary by day, time, season, etc. So it's about capturing the intent pretty early on and then tailoring the experience, both from the journey that they will take and then the ad product in real time to them. It's a bit more of an art than just science, but there is a lot of data that kind of informs that.
It's combining like the data, but also like having a certain vision of like what is the right thing, no?
Yes.
What is the, from the data that you have about consumers' behavior on the app, is there anything like, now that you're new as well, that surprised you?
It's just the sheer amount of data. And actually I'm very impressed by we have something called RuPulse, which is we make it available for CPGs that work with us on a sort of joint business plan way. And it's just the entirety of the taxonomy of data in terms of their products, potential, how their products places in relation to competitors, because there's so much data and that data is so real time and it's all digital already by nature and so on. It is a very powerful insights tool for brands, and it was a really nice kind of surprise. I was like, oh, we already have that. Amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, because it could have been all over the place as well, no? You could have a lot of data and then not be like governed.
Absolutely. And I mean, catalog in any business that is a retail business or a digital business is quite a mammoth thing to kind of manage.
Yeah.
I think it does help being digitally native. If you are a traditional business trying to then digitalize everything you have, that is a journey in itself. But having that in place and kind of bringing it together in an easy way for someone to digest, to kind of play through, cut through the data and so on, I think is very, very powerful.
In FMCG specifically, which is like most of our audience, what do you think is like the untapped potential that you have like to help them be relevant through both like performance and brand building? You know, there's the big marketing debate right now.
Well, it shouldn't be a debate, right? You need both. I think retail media specifically, but digital channels where you can understand the outcome more closely are very powerful. And for many years, CPGs or businesses that built brands that they couldn't quite connect to purchase very easily, maybe through some insights, but not really easily. I think what jumps to mind a few years ago, his name was Gavin Owen. He made a quote which became famous in the media space. He was at Nestle at the time, and he said, robots don't buy Kit Kats. And it was quite amusing at the time. Nowadays, robots can buy Kit Kats. So the world has changed that much in maybe a few years. But what hasn't really changed is the need to really build those iconic brands and then be able to place it where the intent is and where the consumer is in their journey. 20 years ago, it was mostly the corner shop. Nowadays, it's in so many places.
A lot of places, yeah.
So it's about evolving our strategy, I would say, for brands to understand the value of that funnel, brand building, of course, but then how do you connect all the way to where your consumer is and where your consumer is transacting. And luckily, retail media actually is able to bring back the insights that the transaction has happened, the user has interacted with a brand that they wouldn't have had if the brand had not invested in that medium, and so on. So I think there is a lot of value in being able to be more connected to the myriad of places where your consumers are.
Do you think that the heads of marketing are aware of that?
Like with anything in media and digital over the past 15 years, it is a journey. When I was at Google, we spent a lot of time with CPGs and brands, educating them, evangelizing on how data was going to disrupt their businesses. It is just another chapter in that journey. It's one that actually I think I could think of any of those kind of stakeholders, they would take it with both hands back then, because the main challenge I would hear is, why do so much work around data if I can't really attribute to purchase? And attribution to purchase is becoming more mainstream these days, even for brands that really struggled with being able to have any of that data in the past. Can they understand? You have to keep yourself current.
Yeah.
And the digital world changes so fast, and it's changing. We are seeing change right under our feet, right, with AI and so on. It is about making sure you have the right people as well in your team to make sure that you are relevant to who your consumer is today, not of yesterday, and being able to connect the dots and build for that.
So we have this one question we ask all our guests. If you went back to yourself when you were starting your career and you could give yourself just one piece of advice, what would that be?
When I was younger, like high school level, I was that kid that, would tell everybody that the internet was going to change the world. I started as a sort of a web designer when I was a teenager. And I would go to people and say, look, you need to build a website, everything will be digital. And I heard so many, So I think I should have, if I could talk to that Lucia when she was 17, is, double up, your efforts. I think you see the world with fresh eyes. And I think there is a lot of young people nowadays that are seeing the world with fresh eyes. Don't be discouraged by what, people who think they know best. They aren't wrong, but they're seeing it from their vantage point. Double up on what you think is right and kind of go for it.